Hello and welcome to our channel. What was Christmas like in Nazi Germany? Christmas is often cherished as a time of joy and unity, a season filled with tradition, family gatherings, and expressions of goodwill. Yet during one of history's darkest chapters, Nazi Germany, even this sacred holiday was not immune to exploitation and manipulation. The Nazi regime, under Adolf Hitler, sought to reshape every aspect of German life, including Christmas, to align with their ideological and political agenda. Before the rise of the Nazi Party, Christmas held deep cultural and religious significance in Germany. Families celebrated with customs rooted in Christianity, such as attending church, decorating Christmas trees, and singing hymns like Silent Night. The holiday symbolized love, peace, and reflection, a sacred time to honor the birth of Christ. German Christmas traditions held a rich history and were known for their warmth and emphasis on togetherness. When Hitler's regime came to power in 1933, no corner of life was safe from their goals of cultural reshaping, and Christmas was no exception. The Nazis recognized that the holiday was beloved and deeply ingrained in German society. Instead of abolishing it entirely, they sought to transform it into a vehicle for spreading their ideology. Their aim was to strip Christmas of its Christian roots and reinterpret it as a pagan celebration of Aryan values and heritage. This was part of a larger project to replace Christianity with a radical nationalist ideology that glorified Germanic mythology and loyalty to the Nazi state. Even one of the most universally joyful holidays became a means of control. One of the most striking changes was the Nazis' reworking of Christmas symbols. Traditional images of St. Nicholas or Santa Claus were systematically replaced with an Aryan figure modeled after Odin, a hero of Germanic pagan tradition. Santa Claus as a kind, joyful giver of gifts was no longer acceptable in Nazi propaganda, as his Christian origins conflicted with the regime's ideals. Similarly, Christmas trees, still central to celebrations, began to feature Nazi-approved decorations. Pagan-inspired ornaments such as sun wheels and runes took the place of religious symbols like the Nativity or angels. The shift was subtle at first, but pervasive, helping shape the narrative that Christmas was not about religion, but about celebrating ancient Germanic heritage. Nazi propaganda didn't stop at decorations. Even the music of Christmas underwent drastic alteration. Traditional German carols were rewritten with lyrics that removed references to Christ or Christianity and replaced them with themes of nationalism, Aryan pride, and loyalty to the Führer. Carols that once praised the divine became tools to glorify Hitler and his regime. These changes were implemented in schools, Hitler Youth programs, and public events, ensuring the new versions became standardized among children and young adults. While older generations might have resisted these changes, the younger generation grew up celebrating a version of Christmas devoid of its original sacred meanings. Children were at the heart of the Nazis' Christmas agenda. The holiday, traditionally centered on family unity, became a unique opportunity to indoctrinate the youngest members of society. Schools and child-focused organizations, like the Hitler Youth and the League of German Girls, replaced church-organized events with Nazi-centric holiday programs. Christmas plays and pageants once centered on the nativity story were replaced by dramatizations of Aryan mythology or patriotic themes. Gifts for children often carried Nazi symbols, like swastikas or slogans, further embedding the regime's ideology into their minds under the guise of holiday cheer. The Nazi Party's distaste for Christianity shaped their actions regarding Christmas in significant ways. Although they did not officially ban the holiday, religious observances were systematically repressed. Churches faced restrictions on their activities, and sermons focusing on Christ's birth became increasingly rare. Religious leaders were closely monitored, and public expressions of Christian faith during the holiday season were discouraged. Instead, the Nazis sought to replace Christian ideals with pagan Germanic traditions. Christmas was framed as a celebration of light in darkness, echoing ancient solstice ceremonies. By emphasizing supposed ancestral ties to pre-Christian rituals, the regime attempted to steer the German people away from their religion while appealing to a fabricated sense of ethnic pride. During the later years of Nazi rule, as World War II escalated, The economic hardships imposed by the war altered how Christmas was celebrated in Germany. The government encouraged frugality, urging citizens to avoid lavish celebrations and focus instead on Spartan, patriotic values. Propaganda emphasized making personal sacrifices for the nation, portraying Christmas as a time to honor fallen soldiers and support the war effort. Rationing limited access to traditional holiday goods such as baked treats and festive decorations. Families were advised to repurpose or create homemade decorations in line with Nazi-approved symbolism. This practical approach served as another reminder of how deeply the regime had infiltrated even private aspects of German life during the war. Despite significant changes to Christmas under Nazi rule, resistance to this ideological reworking persisted. For many Germans, particularly those with strong religious convictions, the holiday retained its Christian significance. Behind closed doors, families often rejected the pagan overtones mandated by the regime and carried on traditional celebrations. Religious songs were sung, prayers were said, and nativity scenes were displayed in defiance of official propaganda. These moments of quiet resistance revealed the enduring power of faith and tradition among ordinary citizens, even under the shadow of authoritarian control. Religious leaders during this period faced an immense challenge. Many were under constant surveillance and feared repercussions for openly celebrating Christmas in its Christian form. Yet some churches managed to maintain a degree of independence, continuing to hold services and preserve the holiday's original meaning. The church's resilience became a symbol of spiritual hope for those opposed to the regime. However, their efforts were not without cost. Priests and pastors who resisted Nazi edicts often faced imprisonment or worse. Despite the risks, the church played a critical role in preserving faith during a time of intense oppression and propaganda. For Jewish families in Nazi Germany, the holiday season was yet another reminder of their exclusion. As the regime intensified its persecution of the Jewish population, public spaces that once celebrated inclusivity now actively ostracized them. Christmas celebrations became symbolic of the divide between Aryan Germans and those whom the Nazis sought to marginalize or eliminate. Jewish families faced hostility, isolation, and escalating violence during the holiday season. Their experiences stand as a stark contrast to the Nazis' attempts to frame Christmas as a time of unity, albeit one built on exclusion and hate. Although the Nazis sought to erase Christianity from Christmas, they faced a paradox. The holiday's emotional and cultural significance made it impractical to remove entirely without alienating vast portions of the population. As a result, they walked a fine line, keeping familiar elements superficially intact while subtly undermining their foundation. This double standard was a source of ongoing tension within the Nazi regime itself. While some officials advocated for strict paganization, others recognized the political risk of alienating Christian Germans. This delicate balance revealed the limits of the Nazis' cultural control, even at the height of their power. The story of Christmas under Nazi Germany is a sobering reminder of how easily cherished traditions can be exploited. By corrupting one of the most beloved holidays, the regime demonstrated its willingness to manipulate even the most sacred aspects of life to serve their ideology. The resilience of those who resisted, whether through acts of faith, cultural defiance, or perseverance under persecution, is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and protect what is meaningful. Christmas is a time for love, hope, and reflection, a celebration intended to transcend political and ideological boundaries. The Nazi regime's attempt to co-opt the holiday for propaganda serves as a stark contrast to its true meaning. By reflecting on this history, we can recognize the importance of protecting traditions and ensuring they remain untainted by extremism. Let us remember the enduring message of peace and compassion associated with Christmas, even in the face of history's darkest moments. This story reminds us all of the power of holidays to inspire resilience and hope, and why we must work to keep their true spirit alive. Thank you for joining us, and let's continue to honor these traditions by standing against hatred in all its forms. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. And if you'd like to support this channel, the links for Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon are in the comments section. Thank you and bye for now.